And a recently released CBS News poll reveals many Americans are getting frustrated with how the president is handling the economy. Approval ratings have fallen nearly 10% in just over a month. Now, Atlanta News First anchor Joe Gorcho continues our team coverage.
Joe, you did not rely on those poll results we just mentioned. You went to real people asking them how the president's doing on issues like the economy and some other things.
And the way they expressed their opinions varied. Some just gave a thumbs up, some gave a thumbs down. Some people were more vocal about what they had to say about how they feel about the presidency. It's hard to say whether the people we had a chance to speak with align with CBS's national polling. However, people are passionate about their views of this presidency.
He has not surprised us. He has not surprised me.
At Piedmont Park in Midtown, people did not shy away from expressing opinions on President Trump's first 100 days. Crystal Power is upset with administration policies that are against diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives.
Try to make us feel as though we don't belong in certain places, that we have the education, the experience, and the wherewithal to hold ourselves in.
Others are happy with the work so far.
Anything that he promised on the campaign trail that you feel he's delivering on right now?
Immigration is a big one, and cutting waste in the government. I think those are probably the two most effective parts of his campaign that he's delivering on right now.
On day one, that he was, he was going to make sure he made everything better. It was a disaster.
A CBS News poll shows that most voters nationwide disapprove of Trump's second term. Voters believe the president does not spend enough time lowering prices, focusing too much on tariffs.
Are you really doing this?
And some of that unease created contentious moments at recent town halls in Georgia. At Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene's town hall, 3 people were arrested and others were escorted out.
People back home in my district are thrilled with President Trump and his administration and so grateful for everything that they're doing. However, just like I said before, they're pretty frustrated at Congress because Congress doesn't seem to understand the mandate that was given in November.
And the recent CBS News polling shows some positives, and this includes the president's 56% approval rating for his actions and policies in deporting illegal immigrants. Joe Gorcho, Atlanta News First.